Okay, so in the first part of this video, we went ahead and we created the My Button component, and the My Button component has a singular prop for title, and we pass that in. We have the props type declared up here, and we are saying that My Button is a React functional component that is accepting a prop type of the data props type, and right now that just has one value for title. Now, we want to be able to allow the person who is using this component to also pass in an onPress function, as well as an optional background color and text color. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a few more properties here. We're going to say color, and then we're going to use this question mark colon to say that this is an optional parameter. So this is optional. And then we'll do the same thing for the text color. And then lastly, we're going to do the onPress. And for the onPress, we are telling the component that we're passing in a function. So we're going to say we're taking a function with no parameters, and this function is going to return nothing. So it is a no parameter void function. All right, right now, the way that I have this set up, any one of these values that I want to access, I have to say props dot. So if I want to say that onPress is going to equal the function that was passed in, I would say props dot onPress. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if I was using this all over the place, that could get a little hectic. Also, it makes it so that I can't have default values. So we can do something called destructuring the prop. When I destructure the prop, instead of having just the generic props here, I'm going to use curly braces, and then inside the curly braces, I'm going to actually define each value of this variable. So I'll say that the first value is just title, because the user is going to pass it in when they make one of these components. And then for color, I'm going to give it a default value. So my default value for my background color was orange, so I'll keep it that way. And for text color, if they don't give a text color, I'll make the default black, and then the onPress is going to be the onPress. So the way that that's written is basically saying that title and onPress are required, and color and text color, if they are not passed in, then they are optional, and the value that'll be used will be orange and black. Now, you're going to notice in here that I now see this error message popping up, and that's because I'm no longer using props. I've destructured it. So now I can just say onPress, and I can just say title. All right, now if I go ahead and I save this and I go back into my index, I'm now going to see a message yelling at me because I haven't provided an onPress. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass in onPress, and just like before, we're just going to do your basic alert.alert, and we'll just say hi, and then here, same thing, alert.alert, and now we will say bye. All right, so if we save, if we click on here, we're going to see hi. And then here we now see, apparently I can't spell bye correctly. Bye, there we go. All right, so that's great. However, we haven't been able to pass in a custom color. So let's say I wanted to make this top button, I don't know, blue. So I can say color equals blue. And now I save, and I notice that the color is still orange. So why didn't that change? Well, if I go over here and I take a look at my code, I can see that color and text color are actually not even being used. They're grayed out. And because of the way that they're grayed out, that's because I'm not accessing them. So I need to tell my code to either use the style that I have here or use a style that has been passed in. Now, the way that I do that is by passing an array of styles to my style attribute. So right now I just have one style, but if I want to give it multiple styles, I need to use array notation. And then the order that I list them is the order that they'll be applied. So first I'm going to apply all of the button styles. And then after that, inside curly braces, because I'm going to put just a singular property, I am going to say that the background color will be equal to color. And this is going to allow me to override the background color of button to be whatever was passed in. And I'm going to do the same thing with my text style. So I'm going to use this bracket notation to pass in an array of styles, and I'm going to say that color is going to be text color. All right, so now when I save this, I can see, oh, hey, that one turned blue now. And if I were to go over here and I were to pass in a text color parameter, and let's say I made it equal to white, I can now see that that has changed. All right, so let's just reiterate the different things that we learned here. We learned that we can create our own custom component, and this component I called My Button is saved in the Components folder, and my component has the ability to receive props that I can define. And in order to stay in line with being a TypeScript file, I need to declare the type of props that I will be sending in. And so that's what I am doing here. And by doing that, that makes it so that when I call a My Button, it's verifying that the value that's being passed in for each of these props is the correct type. Okay. If I wanted to add another My Button, I can just go ahead. Oh, what did I just do? I can go ahead and I can just say My Button. And then I can go ahead and I can say title equals, again, I can say color equals, we'll say pink, and text color is hot pink, and we'll say on press equals, and this time we'll do a console.log, and we'll just say this is a log, just so that we can see another type of message that we can use here. When I save the screen, I can see it's been added. And when I click on this, you might be wondering where the heck that shows up. Well, it actually shows up down in the log down here. And so this is just my terminal log. This is what you see when you're when you run the, like when you do, like if I were to do Control C, that would stop the server right now. If I were to hit R, it would reload and so on. Okay, so this is another way that you can log data or you can alert. All right, hopefully that was helpful.